Drones, uncrewed or autonomous vehicles, whatever you want to call them, they are revolutionizing warfare. First coming to prominence during the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, the US used drones like the Predator to launch airstrikes against militants. Drones have spread across the world over the last few years, and many more countries are acquiring them and using them. Loitering from above, they are providing unprecedented information about the battlefield, or in other cases, they are conducting attacks themselves. But it's not just aerial drones now. Uncrewed land and maritime vehicles are becoming increasingly important too. Recent conflicts like the Russian invasion of Ukraine are providing a live demonstration on just how critical drones are on the battlefield. If Australia wants to keep up with the demands of modern warfare, we're going to have to keep up with the latest in technology in this area and integrate both autonomous vehicles and their countermeasures into our forces. So what's Australia doing in this space? What projects do the ADF and our defence industry have going? Today, we're going to answer these questions and more as we do a deep dive into some of Australia's most exciting autonomous vehicle projects. I'm Mel Pikos, and today, we're talking tactics. Before we get started, every night in Australia, thousands of veterans, men and women who served our country, are sleeping rough. They gave everything for us. But now, many have nothing. No roof, no support, no hope. The St. Vincent de Paul Society provides housing, food, counselling, and community for veterans doing it tough. I'm doing the Vinnie's CEO Sleepout for the third year in a row to raise money so veterans don't get forgotten. My company, Tactic, has donated $25,000 this year. If this is an issue that resonates with you and times are good for you, please donate directly to my fundraising page below. Every dollar helps. Now let's get into the video. Even though uncrewed warfare is a new and rapidly changing space, both the ADF and Australia's defence industry have thrown themselves into designing, producing and acquiring autonomous vehicles and their countermeasures with a considerable degree of enthusiasm. Released by the Department of Defence in 2024, the Integrated Investment Program includes $10 billion in investments in a range of uncrewed and autonomous systems for the ADF over the next decade, underpinning the Australian government's commitment to ensuring that our military and defence industry have the right capabilities in this space. It's a good problem to have, but there are so many drone-related projects going on at the moment that we won't be able to cover them all here in one video. We've already covered the Ghost Bat in a previous video, and so today we're going to look at a snapshot of some of the more interesting projects and companies behind them. Anduril Industries. Founded by Palmer Luckey, the designer of the Oculus Rift, and named after Aragorn's sword in the Lord of the Rings, a personal favourite of mine, Anduril Industries is actively engaging in several high-profile defence projects in Australia, focusing on autonomous systems and advanced manufacturing. The stated goal of Anduril Industries is to use the latest technology to make cheap and effective munitions. What if instead of a $60 billion aid package for Ukraine, it was a $1 billion aid package, and it was 10 times as effective? If you're building the right mass-produced, AI, robot-produced, very, very cheap loitering munitions that are always able to do the job at 100th or 1,000th of the price of an existing system, at some point the justification for withholding aid goes away. The most high-profile project Anduril is involved in Australia is the Ghost Shark, formerly known as the Extra Large Autonomous Undersea Vehicle, or XL-AUV. The Ghost Shark is a collaboration between Anduril, the Australian Navy, the Defence Science and Technology Group, and the Advanced Strategic Capabilities Accelerator. This is a $180 million project which aims to enhance Australia's undersea warfare capabilities. The contract was signed in May 2022, and the first prototype was unveiled in April 2024, ahead of schedule and under budget. How often can you say that about a military project? With the first production unit expected to be delivered by late 2025. Anduril was complimentary of Australia's assistance in the process, noting that we were able to develop the prototype faster than the US would have been able to. Part of the reason that a prototype of the Ghost Shark has been delivered so quickly and so cheaply is that the system is based on a pre-existing commercial model which is partially 3D printed. Information on the design has not yet been publicly released. However, we know it is designed for long-range intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, and strike missions, so will have a large payload volume and a very long range. The Ghost Shark may be equipped with torpedo tubes or feature weapons such as missiles, loitering munitions, or mines. It could also be equipped with electronic warfare systems. A particularly exciting weapon option recently unveiled by Anduril is the small Copperhead autonomous underwater vehicle. This can be used in kamikaze missions like a torpedo, can loiter for extended periods, or be used for information gathering. The Copperheads are designed to be both cheaper and easier to produce than conventional torpedoes, and the Ghost Shark is reportedly able to carry dozens of them. In 2024, the prototype Ghost Shark was flown to Hawaii by a Royal Australian Air Force Globemaster and reportedly spent a significant amount of time in the water being evaluated by the US. There are a number of key advantages with uncrewed undersea vessels compared to conventionally crewed submarines. Firstly, the Ghost Shark is able to push harder and operate in high-risk environments, providing an asymmetric advantage without endangering personnel. Secondly, most of the vehicle can be flooded and there is no crew which need to be stopped from drowning or dying from the pressure, which makes hull failure less likely at deeper depths. It also helps us with our recruitment because we don't need people in them. To support the Ghost Shark program, Anduril is constructing a dedicated manufacturing facility in Australia. The facility aims to transition the Ghost Shark from prototype to production, with the first production variant anticipated by the end of 2025. 42 Australian companies are set to benefit from the Ghost Shark supply chain once it goes into production. And no doubt our allies in New Zealand should also be looking at purchasing some from us. The project emphasises scalability for potential large-scale production. So hopefully this will attract interest from overseas and become an Australian defence export success story. Manned submarines are extremely expensive, so are few in number and can only be deployed to a limited number of places at a time. However, if Australia was to procure a large number of Ghost Sharks, it would help to deter aggression in our northern approaches by making it much more likely that our Navy will be everywhere, watching, waiting, and striking where needed. The Speartooth and the Bluebottle. The Royal Australian Navy is also interested in two other locally produced uncrewed vessels. The Speartooth submarine by C2 Robotics in Melbourne and the Bluebottle boat by Ockius Technology in Sydney. The Speartooths are smaller, torpedo-like unmanned submarines capable of passing on information, disrupting enemy sensors, or even undertaking kamikaze strikes against targets. The Speartooths have an estimated range of about 2,000 kilometres and are continuing with testing and trials. So far, they've received positive reports about their performance. The Speartooth has gone from just a concept to a minimum viable capability in 2 years, which is a huge win given how long defence developments often take in Australia. Production of the Speartooth will probably slowly ramp up in the years to come, but C2 Robotics have identified industry partners who can produce the Speartooth locally in existing facilities if need be. The Bluebottles are small, uncrewed surface vessels powered by solar and wind, and therefore capable of staying at sea essentially indefinitely. These are designed to be used in data gathering and communications platforms, supporting other vessels such as the Ghost Shark and Speartooths, as well as manned naval platforms. Northrop Grumman MQ-4C Triton. The MQ-4C Triton is an American high-altitude, long-range, unmanned, unarmed aerial vehicle designed for intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance missions over ocean and coastal regions. Australia has ordered 4 Tritons, but may order another 2 or 3 more, depending on requirements and priorities. The first Triton arrived in Australia in June 2024, with the second one landing very recently in May 2025. Interestingly, the Tritons will be based at RAF Tyndall in the Northern Territory, where personnel will be responsible for taxi, landing and takeoff services, but the Tritons will actually be controlled and monitored from RAF Edinburgh in South Australia. The Triton has twice the range of the manned P-8A Poseidon and can stay in the air for up to 30 hours. It's capable of surveying 7 million square kilometres of sea in a single 24-hour-long mission, which will definitely come in handy monitoring Australia's northern coastlines and maritime approaches. Maybe it'll even be able to spot some Chinese warships off the coast of Sydney. Sypaq Corvo. An Australian success story is the Sypaq Corvo Precision Payload Delivery System, or PPDS, which is a small aerial drone that has seen active use in the Russian-Ukrainian war. The PPDS was originally developed in partnership with the Australian Army. However, from 2022, the drones have been supplied to Ukraine, where they have had great success. By 2023, Australia was providing Ukraine with up to 100 PPDS drones a month. Made out of foam board and small in size, the PPDS has effective stealth qualities, allowing the Ukrainian forces to use it in intelligence and surveillance and reconnaissance missions, as well as lethal attacks. The PPDS is capable of carrying payloads of 3 kilograms up to 120 kilometers. There are even reports that the PPDS have been used to bypass anti-air defenses and strike Russian airfields. Strix. The Strix is an Australian-designed vertical takeoff and landing drone developed in collaboration between BAE Systems Australia and Perth-based Innovero. This UAV incorporated learnings from BAE Systems' experience with the Ghost Bat and went from concept to maiden flight in just 2 years. It's capable of undertaking a variety of missions, including intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, and strike missions. With a payload of around 160 kilograms, it can carry a variety of precision-guided air-to-ground munitions, as well as sensors. It has a combat radius of 400 kilometers and can stay airborne with a full payload for up to 5 hours. It can be used in a variety of different roles, including as a single drone, as a multi-drone mission, or as a loyal wingman with a manned helicopter. As of yet, the Strix hasn't been picked up by the ADF or any other defence force, but it's an innovative design, so hopefully it finds a home somewhere before too long. EOS Slinger and Titanis. The Australian company Electro Optic Systems, or EOS, based in the ACT, has introduced 2 different anti-drone systems. The first, the Slinger, is based on the EOS R400 remote-controlled weapon station. It features a Bushmaster M230 autocannon firing 30mm shells. Its radar is capable of detecting drones out to 1.4 kilometers and engaging them out to 800 meters. Being modular and only weighing 355 kilograms, the unit can easily be mounted on vehicles. 160 slingers have been provided to Ukraine's military, and a $15 million contract to provide slingers has also been signed with Diehl Defence in Germany. The other EOS system is the Titanis. The Titanis detects and tracks unmanned aerial systems. In the first instance, it uses a radio frequency inhibitor to defeat incoming drones. If this isn't effective, it switches to more lethal options, such as a 7.62mm gun or a 54 kilowatt high energy laser, which can engage drones out to 2 kilometers. Fractl Laser. AIM Defence, based in Melbourne, has developed a portable high-power laser system called Fractl. This system won the ADF's first Directed Energy Systems contract in 2024. Across 2 contracts, AIM Defence is providing 3 of these systems to the ADF. The system is powerful enough to burn through steel and can track objects as small as a coin travelling 100 kilometres per hour, a kilometre away. The system's power is dependent on how much energy is available, but it can kill drones up to 1.5 kilometres away and dazzle their sensors up to 3 kilometres away. In 2024, AIM Defence also opened a local manufacturing facility which will be used to ramp up production of the Fractl units domestically. The same year, the system won a $1 million prize from the Canadian Army as a result of beating 15 other anti-drone systems. It beat Canada, UK, US and Israeli systems, showing just how competitive Australia's tech is in this space. Droneshield. Droneshield is a rapidly growing Australian company which designs and manufactures a variety of systems designed to detect and defeat aerial, land, and maritime-based drones. These include the handheld drone gun and the vehicle-mounted or fixed-site drone sentry. Droneshield also produces their own proprietary AI-driven drone defence software. The company is based in Sydney and has approximately 300 employees. With a presence in over 70 countries and over $32 million in contracts awarded in April 2025, Droneshield is shaping up to be one of Australia's big defence industry success stories of recent decades. But what do you think? The Australian military and our defence industry are often criticised for being behind the curve when it comes to the development and adoption of new technology. However, I think autonomous vehicles are one area where we are definitely punching above our own weight. In just the last few years, we've seen a number of companies develop and start manufacturing state-of-the-art drones and drone countermeasure systems. If we keep this up, Australia will not only be able to meet our own defence needs in this area, but we might end up as a major exporter of these systems, which will create jobs and put money back into our economy and ensure we are self-sufficient in the event of a conflict. Given the Australian Defence Force's ongoing challenges with recruitment and the retention of personnel, investing in uncrewed and autonomous systems appears to be a strategic way to offset these shortfalls. These platforms, ranging from aerial drones to robotic ground vehicles and autonomous maritime vessels, can perform many of the intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, and even combat support tasks traditionally handled by human operators. By expanding the ADF's uncrewed capabilities, Australia not only reduces its reliance on a consistently large force of enlisted personnel, but also enhances operational reach, persistence, and safety. In this way, uncrewed systems aren't just a technological upgrade, they're becoming a practical necessity in maintaining capability amidst a shrinking workforce. But I'm interested in knowing what you think. Which drone systems did I miss that you would like me to cover next time? Is there anyone that you would like me to cover in more depth? Do you think Australia is doing enough to keep up with the drone warfare, or should we be doing more? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments section down below. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. I'm Mel Pikos, and we've been talking tactics.